Hi, I'm Alice from Sky's Edge magazine here with Original Voice Media, and today we're chatting with the incredible K.O.G here from Ghana to Sheffield, from Glastonbury to
Eh,
grassroots. It's the one and only K.O.G. Let's get stuck in.
Thank you, thank you, thank you
So,
for having me.
how are you?
I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm really excited, and yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Good. For the people who don't know, what does K.O.G stand for?
K.O.G is Kweku of Ghana. I was born on Wednesday, and in some tribes in Ghana, we name according to days. So Monday you have a name, Tuesday you have a name. Wednesday, I was born on Wednesday.
Oh,
In England, you say Wednesday child is a war child.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's similar in Ghana. So Wednesday is Kweku, and then of Ghana. It's nothing fancy, just one of those ones.
Sound.
Yeah, yeah.
So, being from Ghana, like what came first for you? Church, music, a combination of both. Like, can you tell me about that?
Um, I think for me, the root of music how I came into music has always been an enigma to me myself, because growing up, I grew up in an spiritual African traditional setting with my grandmother in Bralos in church, Divine Healers. They're called the Divine Healers Church, which is like, yeah, it's Meso African and, charismatic kind
Yeah.
of churches. But then the emphasis of the music is for healing. So the frequencies and the vibrations and the percussion, the sounds are just centered on our bodies and our minds and our souls. So I came the first, and I lived with my grandmother then, so very sheltered as a little boy. This was the music I was introduced to. So growing up, I saw people summoning spirits and calling and, using drums and using their bodies as a form of channeling. So as a little boy, and then growing up, going to school, obviously I became introduced to popular music. But then the roots of my music has always been, I didn't even know how, because my uncles, everybody was doing it, and it was a spiritual form of connecting music with people and nature around you. So everybody sang, everybody played, everything tonal or sonically was geared towards healing or ancestral roots. So yeah, until growing up and living with my mom properly and everything, and going to church, and then I got to know about gospel music and other genres, and but it's like really mixed, like you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
Oof.
So, can you tell me about Redeemed Voices?
Wow, bro, that's not. Wow, 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 wow. So like I was saying, Redeemed Voices is still there. Like I have two bands that over like almost 30 years on is still in Ghana, because we grew up doing little a cappella groups, and Redeemed Voices was one of them, because we were little kids and we love music so much. All of us will gather and sing in parts, and it was the most beautiful. That was like our first tape of Lady Smith Black Mamba from South Africa. That band, I bought a tape and I called all my friends and we listened. I remember in our little garage, in a little boombox, and we all listened. There was 8 of us, and we all split into parts and we started singing.
Wow.
And we started singing in church, and we used to sing from church to church, 8 of us. I have pictures. I'll send it. I'll send you all the pictures.
Oh, wow.
Like I have with my grandmother and everything. So it's like, and we used to sing and go from church to church, and no instruments, just voices, and the power of just using your voice to just communicate, because we always believe that the voice was the very first instrument.
Yes.
Very all instruments were created around voices of animals, voices of us, and voice. So it was very, very important, mimicking different sounds and using our voice and reading voices. And then I had one in school called the Levites. It's still there now in my secondary school, in Fansfilm School, and till now, over 30 years since we finished, it's still there. And having these, like I said, communication with them is very important, and them knowing that the music never dies is priceless. It just lives on in us. in our ancestors passed on to us. So it's always three things to me. Like I said, community, that community connection, that means so much to me. Community, you connect and then you collaborate. That is what we are about as humans. We form our community, we connect, and then we collaborate to bring art. We started on fire. Now we have air fryers. Art. We started just like rubbing two stones together. Now we are air fryers. Just like, you see what I mean? It's communication, collaboration.
It's like a young K.O.G. Like, were you influenced just by Ghanaian and African music, or like, Lady Smith, Black Bamboozle?
That's yeah.
Or did like Western music have an influence too? Like,
massive.
MJ, Led Zeppelin.
Exactly. Massive. My dad is a marine engineer. So he schooled in South Shields in Newcastle. He had an opportunity from uni just when I was born. So he came, and when he used to come back, you collect records.
Yeah.
Loads of records. Oasis, like some crazy records that I didn't even know about, like, Steely Dan, like, Fleetwood Mac, that kind of things. Earlier, all through to the 90s, So it's like, when he came home, he brought this whole different sonic with VHS videos.
Yeah.
So we would watch them, and I'll watch MJ, I'll watch some, like incredible artists. But then at home, my mom would also play gospel, Pentecostal music, and high life music, Afrobeat, Fela Kuti, Yusindo. So it was a measure of two very different cultures that always I came to meet at home. Yeah. And my dad would bring these, and my mom would bring these, and then I'll go to my grandmom's house, and it's a whole different form of. So I was just absorbing all these sonic impulses, and it was just great for a little boy, because I loved music and I loved art so much as well. So I gravitated towards it so much that I didn't know I would become a musician, but I always knew that I had a place to play in this musical thing.
Yeah. I see that, like, really truly does reflect in your music as well, like those roots and everything, and where you came from and the influence you had growing up.
That's all I know.
Exactly. So this is the thing, like, what was, like, your calling to Sheffield? Was it like the music, education, love? What was going on there?
That's like rich man laughter. I'm not rich yet. One day. No, I went to University of Ghana, and then I did psychology as an undergrad. So I came here to do my master's, and then everything just evolved from there. I met my kid's mom, and then I had kids, but then the funny thing was I had to stop uni because I started having kids,
Oh, yes.
So I was working in a nursing home, which was literally what brought me into music, to become a serious musician. Like I said, the music has always been around, family and everything, but to make that transition to be like, Kweku, you could probably do this as a full-time job and be an impact to your community, your family, your kids, and yourself. Maybe try, and I'm so grateful to a lot of people around me that helped me in Sheffield, in London, and friends around all over France, everywhere, that saw that, well, maybe the message or bringing these kind of music from where I'm from into the diaspora was quite nice or quite important or relevant. So I'm very grateful to the people also that helped me. But I came here to do uni, really. It wasn't, music was never.
So music wasn't even like on your radar at the time. You're like, oh, shit.
Never. No, it wasn't at all. I just came here to do my master's, and then probably become like some politician in some village in Ghana, and live a quiet life. Like, it's not happening like that, has it? So.
But talent in Sheffield is incredible. What has it been like, working with people in Sheffield, with the musicians and things like that? Like, when you came here and, you didn't have like an idea of what you were doing, and.
Yeah, man. It's it's just a profound and outstanding story, and I always hold it to Sheffield for its magnificent hospitality. Without that, like without Sheffield being that backbone and giving me, first of all, the confidence, to come here and, pay a lot of money to do your masters.
Yeah.
And then have a child, and then you're like, okay, I'll do first, I'll do music full time. But then having a community that were like, wow, okay, we got you. And, I had Redemption, I had people like Mim Suleiman, Steve Edwards, Franz Vaughn. I have all like so many names I could mention that, like so many that I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful these people were there for me. The Cremon, Riverside, Yellow Arch, like all these venues, and Nicole, Cole's, all these venues, Hagless, like Dave and Sarah, like some of our very earlier gigs with, All Star Revolution, them, Chronicles of Graham, Shlina, David, all really, really good friends, having me and helping me. Like, I don't have words, because without them, you can't do it yourself. Like, you need people to help you and facilitate and believe in you first of all, to be able to, Sheffield was just the perfect, like, I could have lived in London. My aunties, everybody lived in London, but there was something special about Sheffield, the calmness, and just people love partying. And at that time, oh my God, there was a venue called The Vine on Cemetery Road.
On Cemetery Road back in the day.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
Like,
yeah, those were the days. Back at The Vine was such a good venue.
We needed GPS at that time because I could get really mashed up there, and I wouldn't know where my house was. Like, that was the time we needed like Ubers and like this, because I don't know my way home. I'm like, oh my God. And then you had to pass through the cemetery. I'm like, woo.
It was spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky. I mean, it's a good time of year. We're in October, so.
Yeah, but Sheffield has been incredible like that to me, and I can't,
Has it been working, like, working with a hybrid, like, with the next generation of like musicians, things like that,
Oh yeah, it's like watching people, especially the young generation, go on their journey, this musical pilgrimage, and watch the devotion, the excitement on their face, and watch the expectation. Even sometimes you can smell the expectation on how they were. It's heartwarming for me, because I'm like I mentioned, those people that helped me. It's so nice that you can never gauge success if you've not made somebody else, or you've not laid down the same kind of grit for somebody else to pass through that road. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
You can't call yourself a farmer if you've not had products, and other people are also getting your product, It's so important that you rise by lifting others. I
100%
make sure people know the right route for their physical, their spiritual, and their mental health, because the pits that I fall into, I don't want other people to fall into, especially the next generation. And make sure that they know. So working with Hybrid has been incredible. I work with some of these amazing upcoming artists in Hereford College as well, and it absolutely spurred me on, because the industry could be amazing, but then there's a lot of impacts of mental health and physical, and so much to you as an artist. So having people that are in the industry and helping you, because we are all still in the industry, you never leave it. You release music, you want people to listen, and they grade it all. So it's been, for me, it's been eye-opening, and they are so amazing. I'm always learning from them. They are so new technology, and I'm like, wow, how do you do this? And they're so quick, and they're actually helping me more than I am helping them. But it's just a beautiful symbiosis, and I'm very, very grateful to Hybrid for the opportunity, and the Arts Council, really and truly, for funding such projects and keeping such projects and keeping the youth into art still. That's very, very important.
With the community, with Franz, what's it been like, collaborating with him and the connections that you have with him and everything? What's been going on there?
My God, it's been the most heartwarming friendship, the most
Yeah.
blessing that man, like changing, coming to Sheffield with a dream of doing Afrofusion and,
Yes.
and meeting somebody who's really open and really open-minded and very articulate, incredibly talented
Yeah.
above and beyond. And, you know, even watching tracks, and then that's been our journey since we've been here, to be able to pass on, this knowledge of music and whatever it is, the experience that we've gained. But
Yeah.
having Lucy and watching them also, and watching
Yes.
people like Philippe pass on, it's so important that, I have kids, and it's very important that they see us as not the perfect material,
Yeah.
but always trying to be in the community and
Yes.
gather and bring, because nobody's perfect. We like
No.
the traumas that we go through in this music industry, like, and sometimes, like, I sit down and apart from doing this, I talk to men, about therapy, because we are on the road. I am on the road for 2 years. I've been on the road for 2 solid years, and I've got my last two concerts, and I'm just I just want to go home and just, cleanse. And I love being on the road and sharing the gift. But then it gets to a point where, and I feel for other artists. I'm like, people that tour 90 days on the road, like, how do you debrief? What happens, and I'm in that space. And because I know what it does to my mental health, my physical, I know where it takes me, the thoughts I have in my head, and I have to come back. And I'm privileged and fortunate to have friends and counselors who I can talk to and reach out. What about people who don't, and your relationship with your loved ones, your family, it has so much impact on that. So telling young people that, like, whoa, it's an amazing, it looks all, but it's not a bed of roses.
No.
You know what I mean? There's so much implications that we all, like, I am going through so much trauma every time. But then the music and the melodies allows me to be able to speak them out. What about people that can't, and I always stand on that. And I'm like, yeah, we forgive ourselves and have that kind of first point of self-love and rest.
Yes.
And for the rest of the time, that's what I'm trying to do lately, trying to disconnect, trying to lay back and rest. I've done so much. What I can do is to impact my community for the next generation. And that's what some people like Franz, Lucy, all of us are on that, and be like, yeah, it's nice to see the next generation do it.
But this is the thing, like, how can, like, people of Sheffield have that, have the biggest impacts, like, on the grassroots music scene? Like, like, how can the Sheffield people, like, have that impact on the grassroots music scene? What would you say?
I would always say, number one, ethics, mindfulness in the music industry. Like I explained to you where my music comes from. The impact that the music created was not just around the music, literally the notes and the composition, but everybody around it, the band, the attitude of the people, the tenacity.
Yeah.
Art is meant to question. Art is meant not only to bring joy, but art sometimes is meant to put people in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
And you own that as an artist, and having a band that are mindful, having people in your band around you that research, that know things, that create the substance of the art, not just exploit it, but create it based on what is happening in the community, what is happening in their lives, what's happening, what art is meant to be. Then the grassroots having those ethics in Sheffield and being like, okay, now when we create art, we're creating art to have an impact on our community, to move to other communities, have an impact, to solve things in our community. Then the music and the art in the community is going to be so strong right from the basic, because we are teaching our kids the right way of doing art, not, engaging, how to engage, how to connect with people, how to be mindful, and how to have your art be so true to yourself by first loving yourself and owning the art, not trusting that one day I'm going to do this for a big label. No, I'm going to own this art first. If people want it and they want to come for it, cool. But if they don't, I am really, really happy with it, because it's my true comes from my heart. And for me, that's enough for me. I don't care if I don't chat, if I don't go on any other thing, as long as I'm happy with the art and it impacts my community positively and my family and myself, I'm happy. Like,
spot on.
I think I've done the job.
Community is obviously a big thing for you, working with so many artists, as well as hybrid and schools. You know, have you got any projects that are going on?
Oh yeah, like apart from our youth development project in hybrid, like I said, I've been touring 2 solid years. I've got last 2 gigs. Really excited. Maybe by the time this comes out, I would have played it already. my calm still. So I'm going to Ghana in the middle of November for a couple of weeks, this time longer, and just to go disconnect, go back, cleanse, go back home, get some cuddles of cousins and family, and then and then I have a couple of projects that I'm doing in Ghana. There's a couple of people that are doing amazing work in Ghana, Elikem School, the Universal Street Academy, Road Line Drums, and then There's Academy, at least 4 academies, like our friends that have set up, little music institutions to actually go into villages and bring art, in our communities in Africa. And I feel like, for some of us, that's where we've come from with our art, and it would be nice to take it back home and help and start slowly. So next year, I don't really have any plans. My plan is to really keep going back home and keep doing fundraisers here and there to help them also continue the project. So we have more kids also coming up and believing in art that is also a viable way of living. And, the world needs that. It's connected to nature, and try and get everybody, So that's it. And then come back. Obviously, I'm going to go to Benin, try and go to Burkina Faso and then Ghana. And then when I get back, I work with the most amazing group of men in Doncaster. And it's been the most life-changing event in my life since I've been in England. Like, to be able, and why I even started talking about men having therapy, men's mental health and well-being, is being around these guys for almost a year, working with men from all over the world who are lodged here because they've become refugees or they've come from other places, because of immigration problems. So I go and we do breath work, we do some rhythmic healing and some sonic work. And it's the most incredible time of my life because it helps me break down. It helps me also realize gratitude that, wow, we always mourn, but then our problems are not as huge as where people have come from, people that have so much love. And then you open up with them over a cup of coffee and they tell you the darkest things and they're still smiling and they have so much love to give to the world. And I feel like that's what music is meant to be, to bring us all together, share our problems. So I'm trying to get away from all these, records and touring and all these things and try and go back to the community, because then I can bring proper reportage of what's happening onto records and make people connect to where the art really comes from. When I come and I do another album, you're like, okay, I'm actually talking about what's happening in the community. And so it means so much to me. Yeah.
This is the thing, like as talking about what you were saying originally about with Ghana, is there any Ghanaian artists, things that you would recommend for people to listen to?
Wow, there's so many I can list. Like there's Wiala, there's Lamisi, there's a lot of powerful, incredible women which I always want to champion, incredible artists that spread that kind of maternal and feminine energies, like her, so many out there, poets, and and my brother's episode, there's always France, there's Aziza, there's so many Gertrude from Take 4. There's a lot. Well, these are not Ghanaian artists, but artists that I'm just throwing about that are really firing really incredible message across and amazing music as backdrop as well. So that I'm always excited to work with people and hear people's art, to learn and to also,
Saw your poster for your event with Funky Drummer in November.
Yeah.
How did that come about? And is that part of your tour?
That is the penultimate, is that what you call it? The last but one, yeah. So Peter is like, oh, funky drama, what a guy, what a legend. What a guy. He, like, above everything, that is an amazing promoter, beautiful human being. That guy's got the sickest selections as well of tunes. Like, oh my god. Like behind, and he dances and he's like, so I feel like he's like my brother lost in some kind of parallel extraterrestrial alien world where we didn't meet, and then now we've met in on Aberdeen Road somewhere in Sheffield, getting to Nether Edge, and he's cool and he's such a cool dude. And we did the first one. It was mega 2 years ago. It was like mad. Like, and then we're like, well, let's do it again as the final bit of the tour. And there's almost like the last 60 or 70 tickets left, and it's almost sold out, like 500 and something, 600 tickets. So it's gonna be a mad one with my brother Bright and Berland, and it's gonna be incredible. Like, please come. The full band. I have some very special guests coming as well. So yeah, please.
What date can we find you there?
On the 8th of November. It's a Saturday. Nice. Is it Saturday? Saturday, 8th of November. Like, that is the idea. Just the last show in Sheffield for the year, and then hopefully, next year.
And then
it's a whole, nice break. Nice break to be around my children and, be around friends and watch the next generation watch, and then just also try and,
Exactly. With the, like with, as well as Funky Drummer and the tour coming up, is there anything else you're working on? Any plans, with that? Or
yeah, I'm just being. I learned that word recently, being, why we're called human beings. And I'm like, being, just trying to be. And by being, I think we attract so much stimuli and so much things come to us. Sometimes you see the bee just quietly. Most animals are very static. And, I'm just trying to be absolutely quiet for a bit and enjoy life. And by that, I can blossom even more and have more art to give and have more, and I always do that. I'll have a tour period, and I'll have a time where I go off and go back to my mom, go back to my family, and
the time of rest is always the most important.
100%, and talk to my friends and literally, cleanse, like I call it, cleanse myself and forgive myself, love myself, ask for forgiveness. People have wronged, and come back, because you're on tour. You're always on the run. You don't call people. You don't. And I love that, come back and cook with my friends and hang out and, see people.
This is, if you could give one bit of advice, to the next generation of, musicians, and any tips on like how to engage the audience and bring that energy like you do on stage. Because, that's something different, isn't it? Like, you don't really see that often now.
A lot of this question gets asked a lot of time. People are like, sometimes it's just 2 of you, sometimes it's 4 of you, sometimes it's 6 of you, sometimes it's 9 of you, and it's the same energy. And I'm like, nah. But to me, I've sat down, because I didn't, for a while, I didn't have any answer to it. I didn't really, because I always say, oh, it's African music, and people are like, it's African music, it's happy music, and I'm like, well, truly, if you come to our concerts, it's very, very mixed music. We play reggae, hip hop, but I think based on like living here and learning, as human, the first thing I go to a venue is the space of the venue and the sound man, the light man, the cleaner, the bar staff, the DJ, the support band, the bands, everybody there before the audience brings art together. If the floors are sticky, you will not have a good experience. If there's no lights, you're not going to have a good experience. If the sound is bad, you can be the sickest band, but still, everybody kind of come together to make the art. If the bouncers are like, somebody will not have a good experience. So you want everybody. That's the first point of energy for me, making sure I'm asking the sound man how his day has been, humanize the whole experience, the bar staff, who plays, asking them who's played here, what styles do people want, what do I say, and they're forming that beautiful camaraderie and rapport with these people that also contribute to the art, because it's not just you. You know, like I said, without lights, I've been to a gig and they forgot about lights, and it was like 7 o'clock in the night. Look, I'm a black guy. Look, can you imagine, bro? And then, you know, so, and then it made me know that, like, wow, you know, everybody counts so much. It's not just your music. And so for me, that's the very first point of bringing energy, because and making sure the night is going to be a good night. My relationship with these people that also contribute to the whole thing, the art, is number one. So I tell young ones and people coming up, like, first thing you get to the venue, your sound man is your best friend, your light man, all those people, and then they'll help you, you know, they'll tell you, you know, just being nice, and it's number one rule, and it will come across to everybody. You don't even have to manufacture it or push it or anything. It's just natural. The more natural it is, the more people understand it. You don't have to be anybody else, because it's yourself.
You know, it sounds like you've got it all under wraps, because
That's
a perfect amount of advice there. Like, just be yourself, be nice to everybody.
I think,
and it'll come through.
And I think so. If the floors are sticky, you won't have a good time.
Exactly. I mean, I've been plenty of places. And you're like,
you go outside, you're like, oi, your floors are sticky. I know. So everybody, you know, like, so everybody, the promoter, everybody, enough respect and enough love and everything. And I think we'll have a great time that night.
You know, it's been amazing talking to you, and so informative, and you can see how passionate you are about everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
It really reflects in your art and the way you speak and everything. So thank you for having us here today.
Thank you so beautiful. Much. Big up to everybody. Big up to, like, my band. I always have to mention my band, and like, without them, God, there's no like Owen and Ben and Theo, Amy, Lauren, Amber, you know, Jasper, Felix, Harry, to all those that help us, our features, Jack Debrain, Franz, you know, my brother, Aziza, Lamisi, we are all our friends episode, and the whole camp, all the bands that, you know, we are involved in the future. Is just love, and, you know, and just being, you know, trying to be human as much as we are, you know, visit the light and the dark, and just try and find balance always.
Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.